Hello, my name is Koray and I am the owner and founder of Holistic SEO and Digital. In this video, I will demonstrate 24 different successful semantic SEO case studies. And in all of these websites, actually, I focused on different aspects. I have used technical SEO too. Sometimes I also use the links as well, or the page rank, or entity-oriented search understanding, and many other things. And you will be seeing some of these websites in some other SEO case studies by going deeper. Let's say if the website focuses on the B2B marketing or the SaaS marketing, in this case actually you will, or maybe the SMS marketing too, and in this case actually you will be seeing some of these websites with very much more details just for these contexts. But today here I will be focusing on lexical semantics, semantic similarity, and the semantic relevance, and types of lexical units or lexicosemantics, and how you can actually use it for creating a better topical map, but not just a topical map, also for a better semantic content network and better actually context vectors, heading vectors, or question generation, question ordering, or question answer pairing, or sentence structures. So whatever I tell here, actually, I would suggest you to listen me carefully. This will be a long video because first I will be explaining what websites these are. And I can tell that maybe this is the first time that in the history of the search engine optimization, someone or an SEO actually shares 24 successful website, let's say, SEO campaigns. And that's why I'm a little excited. I hope I can explain them with as much as possible details. And at the same time, at the beginning of in this video, I must tell you that please subscribe these specific newsletter, because I will be actually launching my course very soon. And I can tell that the beta testers told me to actually create a simple, linear, level by level, module by module semantic SEO course rather than creating a university, because the original version of the course is longer than 55 hours. There are many explanations or real world case studies, topical maps, or also one-on-one training lectures. But I believe for the beginning part, at a simple course, or let's say simple level by level structure, will be very much easier. If you want to learn when it will be coming and where it will be published, please subscribe to the Holistic SEO newsletter. And when I publish this article on my website, holisticSEO.digital, you will be able to find it easily. With that said, as I say, also some of these things will be published later, and importance of the information responsiveness and importance of the cost of retrieval, these things will be the future books that I will be publishing. So in other words, I already have written 3 books that I will need to publish, but as you already know, actually, I have published many books in the form of the web pages just for the free. Just this time, actually, they will be actual books for some other reasons, let's say. So background of the semantic relevance, similarity, and lexical semantics SEO case study. And I can tell that actually I have used some methodological explanations here, but let me just define these things first. So first of all, when we tell the semantic relevance, actually you should understand that it is something different than what we mean with the similarity. Two things might be similar to each other, but it actually doesn't make them relevant to each other, at least for certain types of contexts. And when it comes to the semantic relevance, most of the time the relevance actually comes from co-occurrence. If two different concepts or two different words or any kinds of adjectives or any kinds of nouns, if they appear together most of the time with certain types of predicates and certain types of subjects, it means that they are relevant to each other. But this is not good enough. We can measure the relevance with co-occurrence, but how they are relevant. What is the association type, or what is the direction of the context there? To be able to understand that, we have to focus on the syntactic parsing and the semantic role labels. But I won't dive in there, at least for now. But you should just understand that semantic relevance actually comes from a little word proximity, co-occurrence matrices, and a little bit the, let's say, repetition of this specific co-occurrence pattern. Whenever the number goes higher, it means that actually it is relevant. There are some exceptions like stop words, because stop words occur together with any other words, but it doesn't make them relevant to the other words conceptually. So you can just tell that in the distributional semantics, it is normal to have them. That's why if you use the word tokenization, lemmatization, or stemming, be sure that you're actually clearing the stop words. And when it comes to the similarity, usually we assume that actually similar things are way much more, let's say, relevant to each other, but no. For instance, the antonyms, the opposites, they are not similar at all. Black and white, they are not similar at all. They are completely different, exact opposites, but they're relevant. When it comes to the similarity, you should focus on actually a little bit the, let's say, word sense disambiguation, because a word's sixth meaning might be close to the another word's seventh meaning if the predicate has been used with a certain types of, let's say, place or the time. All these patterns actually create the language models. That's why whenever we actually have more parameters in the language models, it's easier to understand, or let's say it's easier to actually perform these natural language tasks. By the way, usually you will see this type of tabs inside my videos, and they are natural. I don't do that much editing in my videos, as you know. I try to create videos that actually you can watch repeatedly to learn the SEO, search engine optimization. And here, this is one of the things that actually I just wanted to mention here, because this stays here before I go even to the Thailand. So for SEO Mastermind of the Mathagidi, and here actually we have a new language model from Google. I will suggest you to read this research paper because this is a little big. I can tell, because whenever Google actually uses T5 or transformers, bird, mom for constructing a new model, it means that actually it is, let's say, it is for decreasing the cost while increasing the efficiency. And in this case, you will see some new natural language tasks. This is the first time that actually I see toxic language detection inside the research paper. So it is a little interesting. When it comes to also some other things like title context generation, or let's say understanding context from the title. So these are a little important, let's say, natural language tasks. I will suggest you to read these research paper as well. As I say, this is actually a new language model from the Google. Definitely read it, try to understand. You don't have to understand everything, you don't have to understand the math, but try to check these examples a little bit. At least try to see the point of these things. And if you are able to understand the plan a little, it means that actually you will be catching Google from a point or from a section. Try to check especially these examples and obstacles that they are actually trying to, let's say, overcome. And anyway, if I come back to this case study. So the first website here that actually I wanted to mention to you is actually Team Color Codes. This is a website that actually I have managed like really before, and still it continues to increase its rankings. But before actually come to there, I need to tell this. I actually have written this case study 1 year ago, but I didn't publish it because of two reasons. First of all, I was sick most of the time. And another thing here is that I wanted to publish these things when I am ready to launch my course. So now I am ready. It means that actually I will be giving these things to you so that you can actually learn and you can get a little more ready for the course material. So that's why I would suggest you to watch these YouTube videos repeatedly so that you can actually understand the course way much easier. And another reason to wait actually is I wanted to protect some of the websites so that they can actually have enough level of historical data. Check my previous videos. You will see the importance of the historical data for the search engine trust. And in this case, actually, that's why I waited. And I will be giving the active dates that I manage the projects. And I will also talk about, of course, a little bit, let's say, the SEO echo. Because even if you update or optimize a website right now, probably you will get the results after the re-ranking trigger, which is usually a broad core algorithm update. So it means that actually most of the time, the future effects also come from your past efforts as well. So Team Color Codes, it is actually a really perfect website for the semantic SEO. It focuses on directed lexical relations for just the colored codes. And you will get actually many different types of synonyms, synonymizations. But beyond that, synonyms or using synonym phrases is not the only thing for the lexical semantics. We have other types of lexical units like meronyms, holonyms, or also hyponyms, hypernyms. So based on these, actually, for themes and also for colors and also for color codes, you will be always getting all these lexical relations, and you have to use and focus all of them. There are a couple of more things there. Let's say you have to use different content format at once. Whenever you use a more content format, actually you are covering more context. If you check the website, I believe you will get what I mean. Anyway, also, as I said, the article is not finished yet. So this is actually a quote from the owner of the project. Let me make it like this. When I publish it, I believe it will be ready. Okay, so these are the graphs for these sections. There is one more thing that I wanted to mention here. I have published this case study way much before, and when I wanted to actually use some different content formats, some questions and answer pairs, we needed to do an A/B test. I have chosen 100 articles or 100 URLs, and I waited 6 weeks. In SEO A/B tests, I wait 6 weeks to get the absolute results. And in this case, you see the 20 of these samples and how actually they increase their traffic, impressions, and also, let's say, query count. And this is actually about contextual search and contextual search engine optimization. If you read this article, you will see these examples and you will get what I mean directly here. And these samples, they're actually from team color codes. So that's why actually I wait sometimes really long. First test, wait 6 weeks, then implement these things for the most important pages, then get the results, then make the site-wide changes consistently, train your team, test again, and then refine the methodology and decrease the cost and do it again and again. I hope it helps, because sometimes people tell me that you talk really academic, but this is what I am. And I guess since you have the website name, Naked Data, I guess you will be able to do that. Here, actually, Paul, my dear Paul, he shared a screenshot with me. He told me that whenever we update a web page with my own methods, actually people stayed on the page longer times and they actually clicked to the second pages more too. This is a screenshot from him. These are some changes. As you see, I waited 1 year. Today is November 6th. This screenshot is from actually last year, November. These are the initial increases, really good increases, especially check the impressions and also average position. It is important because if you increase impressions and average position together, it means that actually overall quality increases as well. So I will suggest you to check the article and some other proxy case studies that I will be publishing, because even now I am talking for the 12 minutes. I don't know how I will be finishing these 24 websites. Let's continue. And this is from August. Website continue to raise. Check these, especially query increases. And these are some other metrics that you will need to be checking. Check this link as well. You will get actually one of other SEO case studies that probably I will be publishing like soon, because this website here, I actually updated article already, but I didn't announce it. There is even a broad core algorithm update analysis here, actually 2 broad core algorithm update analysis. But I don't share everything that I have written, because I want people who follow or show the patience to realize these things. And this is the end result. We started here. We are dancing with the core algorithm updates with the semantics. Check the YouTube channel. There is a video for this. Anyway. And with that said, actually, if you check, the website still continues to actually increase its rankings. And after the core algorithm update, it even continued to actually increase it further. You can check some screenshots or some other areas from August to today. It didn't change that much in terms of the positivity. So when it comes to the second website here, let me just check the name, because when you have the 24 things, it's not that easy to remember all of them, but I guess this is one that I remember. Okay, so this is a little interesting because this is a gift website, but I have to hide the website name because it belongs to a friend. Actually, they were not friends at the beginning, but then during the campaign they became my friends from Israel. I really love them. And this is actually an expired domain as well. Since I hide everything, I can also talk about a little black hat. This is an expired domain, and later I also started to use a little AI. But the results that you see in this area, they are not from AI. They are pure human intervention and optimization. I created the taxonomy and ontology with my hands, and it also has many things related to the alcoholic drinks, let's say, and let's say some bartender related things. And with that said, if you check these metrics again from last year, as I said, I have waited for a long time. Then actually, once we launched the Semantic Content Network, it created a really big jump. So this is also from the Google Search Console data. As you see, this big jump here, actually, it says 60,000 clicks, but it's very much more than actually. On that area, it was coming to the 200,000 clicks amount. And these are the initial changes in that area. After that, around February 2022, it became like this in the Ahrefs, and it became like this in the SEMrush. if I will show you the current situation, you will get angry to me. So I won't be doing that because it's black a little, and there are many things that we can do on that area. So I will be hiding that for now, but I can tell that this is right now millions, and this is the code from my dear friends from Israel. Happy to know them. So this one, the Sunny Valley, the third website, it is a SaaS website that focuses on the network security and the firewall services. When I publish the SaaS SEO case study, you should check how actually I especially determine the source identity or the source context. We have used the lexical relations, semantic relevance, and the similarity especially to create a relevance from network security to the advanced or next generation firewall services. It requires actually processing of lots of different types of, let's say, IT and some let's say user privacy and user security concepts. So it requires actually a big topical map to create. But whenever you create a topical map, there will always be a core section. Redirect all of your internal links to the core section. Use these core section n-grams and the terms inside your homepage. If you know someone who how to listen, I believe you will be able to implement these practical suggestions as well. This is the code from the client, and these are the initial changes. And as I say, this is from the February, and these are changes in this area. Actual traffic is way much higher than that. With that said, I have also registered the website into the Google Knowledge Graph, and I have actually created this GPP, let's say, registration. All these social media accounts have been activated. Even the brand search demand actually has been increased. Then this is the current situation for a small SaaS company. It is really good because the sales really bring good monetization value there. And this is from the SEMrush, this is from the Google Search Console. So the fourth website, okay, this is a little interesting website because at the beginning here, actually, I give some examples from the wisdom.net. I manage actively for the initial launch, and we have reached out to the over 500,000 clicks in the website. And then the owner of the company started to actually focus on every individual really small queries by creating new pages, which actually breaks the semantic content network. And now they try to actually fix it by changing some other sections. But basically the website that you see in this area, it is for the dog foods. So the website name is actually Dog Food Care. This website is also important to understand the quality thresholds, because with only 20 articles, actually, I was able to gain over 20,000 queries and really big amount of, let's say, clicks, or again, a big jump actually directly in the website organic performance. But the main problem here is that after 21st article, then the rest of the articles, they were not good. So since I wasn't able to actually provide enough level of quality difference from the first to the second batch, the second batch didn't bring the same amount of, let's say, the queries. And after that, actually, the monetization section has to start. So it is really good for initial launch, but after that, the content quality was not good enough to actually continue to rank in the same way. But still, if we will continue to do that, it will be really a good, really good, let's say, website launch. But still, for the initial ranking, this project is a major success. I can tell that. And when it comes to this one, Combinize.com, this is a really big project. I waited 1 year for publishing this one too. These are the costs that the, let's say, CEO, CMO, and author leaders cost for the project. And I am really happy to know them. They are really kind people. Combinize.com, really, they have, I can tell they are really perfect people. I am really happy to know them. I will always remember them in a good way. And by the way, hello to my brothers and sisters from Bulgaria. And once we've started the project, actually, we started to see all these increase. And then actually, this is the August version. I'm not sure whether I had, this is the this is the October version. So it even doubled itself. And I have actively managed the project for 6 months. Then I have completed topical map. I have created also 80 plus content briefs, and they continue to actually complete. They continue to write these content briefs, and from time to time, actually, we have said each other hi, and we fix these things. Actually, sorry, it was longer than 6. I don't remember the exact date, but when you read it, you can actually see them anyway. So this is the current situation there, and this is from the SEMrush. So the sixth website, VSS monitoring. I have managed this project way much before, and this graph here actually it shows when we started and how frequently we publish the articles. I can tell that actually from here to here you will be seeing that most of the website is already refreshed, and we published, let's say we doubled the amount of existing articles. It means that you are actually changing entire website, which will require or perform a kind of re-ranking event. These are the initial results here. We started here, ended here actively management, then actually the same content briefs or the content brief templates. In the course, I will be also explaining how you can actually create the templates. But if you actually check this article from time to time, I open it, you will always see the word template, template, template. It is about patterns. And when I come to this area too, for VSS monitoring, we have created actually 3 different topical maps and semantic content network designs. They all had different types of, let's say, excessive amount of content briefs. And then the client actually continued to implement the same strategy with also some additions as well, because the owner of the company is someone smart and he is able to use actually EAT signals in a really good way, and I'm happy for him. But I am including this project here too so that you can actually check it. One more thing is, in the Semantic SEO course, I will be giving the topical map and the semantic content network designs that I have created for this project, plus one by one, all the articles with all the headings, all the answers will be given in a comparisonal way. You will see the brief, you will see the article, you will see the performance of that specific content piece. There are more than 80 articles like this just from this website, so you can actually see how specifically this neighborhood content concept actually affects the rankings. Because here too actually I explained even neighborhood content, because if a content is quality, its quality will be propagated in the next one. If you're able to actually create some quality articles directly just now, your older articles will start to rank better, and the new ones will start to get higher rankings in a faster and an easier way too. So that's why these sections or the improvements from this area with their historical data, they are actually bringing this section as well. That's why check the initial ranking case study that I have written as well. Maybe I should put the links, but if you search for the how does Google rank with, let's say, holistic SEO, you will see this article. This is the broadest research that has been ever done in a practical way, just for the ranking methodologies, and the videos are also here too. Just check these things. As you see, it is, as I say, I have written many books. Okay, so the next website here, it is K9 Web. And this is another website that actually I waited really long time to publish, to protect the website and for waiting the initial, or let's say some medium results. This website, Semantic Content Network and Topical Map, also will be shared in the same way in the Semantic SEO course. It won't be harming the website anyway, because there is enough authority and historical data for that. In fact, when I publish one more case study, I didn't include that website and that project here. But when I publish it, you will even realize that how you can actually change the topical map and change the semantic content network so that second website shall not rank as good as much as the first one. So you can even actually make a certain website rank lower. It is like configuring the relevance, configuring the contextual closeness, and it happened in a really good way. You will even see a really good testimonial from that person too, and I'm glad that actually I also know that person, because he came from US to this room and we had some good trainings together. Maybe I can do another video for that. Anyway, we started here, we ended in this area, and we increased the traffic in a really good way, especially these sections too. I have written the article templates again with my hands and fixed some other initial examples with my hand. There are recordings for that, video recordings as well, or other things. I won't be sharing the video recordings, but I can share these article templates. And also, of course, you will see the brief, you will see the article, you will see its performance. So you will get these practical things in the course as well. These are the screenshots from Google Search Console from that area. You can check the increases, quick increases, especially in the 6 months directly. And these are the year-over-year comparison, 100% increase directly. And when it comes to this one, Snuff Store D, this is actually not that old, but new website. I am managing the website for the last 5 or 6 months, as much as I can remember. I guess it's 5. And these are the results. This website is German. until now, all the websites that you have seen, by the way, they are all English. This one is German, and it's hard because in semantics you have to understand the language, but you are lucky because meaning is language agnostic, luckily, as Aristotle says. Anyway, these are the increase from that area. I can tell that content has many problems, but I am trying to give that discipline as much as I can. And the context here is, or the topic here is actually e-cigarettes. If you read these paragraphs here, you will actually get what we have focused on and why. Here we actually focused on the nicotine types, e-cigarettes or vaporizers, their parts, their types, their effects, or how to solve the addiction problem, because it is one of the reasons or the contexts for the e-cigarettes. And we actually process all of them and connect all of them to each other. This is the 6 months, I guess, 6 months comparison from the Google Search Console data. This is the 9th website, so I won't be able to read everything here, but this is the Roxy Cosmetics Co. UK. The owner of this website is a really kind person. I really like him. We worked for the 6 months, but this project here, actually, it might be a lesson for all the people around the globe. So even if you do everything perfectly, it doesn't mean that actual rankings will change like this. You need a broad core algorithm update, okay? Especially if you have lost the last broad core algorithm update, especially if you lost the broad core algorithm updates from the 2020. So you have to be really, really patient, and we have published many content, but the website continued to lose the traffic. I call it ranking state. I explained the concept of ranking state before. To reverse the ranking state, you have to change most of the actual identity. And right now, website actually, as you see, it continues to lose traffic. We started actually around here, created content with the latest core algorithm update. Website came back in a very much better way. And this is one of the actual small folder screenshots in this area. I won't be sharing more details. This is one of the subfolders that we have created from zero. So if you check the numbers here, actually, most of the increase already comes from the subfolder that we have created, that area that focuses on the beauty. You can check that section. The website is already safe, so I am happy to share it. Even if the website actually sees a harm, since I share it, I will be protecting the website for free. So owner of the website, since he is a kind person, I will be doing it definitely. So one more thing here is that probably this is a typo. Sorry for that. This website is not Roxy Cosmetics. This website is actually ABC Finance Co. UK, as you see here. And this website owner too, actually, he is one of the kindest British people that I have ever seen. But these websites, I have put them together here. Actually, this is not a typo. Yeah, sorry. I am talking a little speed in a fast way. So these two websites are similar because, as you see, this website actually also it loses traffic too, especially in this area as well. But we were able to reverse it thanks to the September broad core algorithm update and some other spam updates as well. And if you focus on especially YMYL industries, especially directly with the let's say the finance industry, please go really, really granular, especially for your source identity and let's say EAT signals, expertise, trustworthiness, and authoritativeness signals. And in this case, actually, this is also important because I will be using these two samples for extending existing topical maps, and I will be explaining how to create a topical map and also how to expand it. And one of these two segments is about that. And here too, we focused on actually loans, credits, and mortgage separately. Mortgage was the most important one. And again, if the website sees any kinds of harm, I will be helping to do this website as well for free because the owner is really kind person and I see him a valuable person in my life too. So 11th website here. Yeah, you know that I have already mentioned bcam.com, bcamkitab.com. It means it is a bookstore, one of the biggest e-commerce websites in Turkey. As I say, it is really hard to be a biggest e-commerce website in Turkey just with the help of actually books. And this is what I call as the negative ranking state. With this another website, you can check it. This website also was able to save itself thanks to some machine learning algorithms. And this will be the embed for the video that I mentioned. Let's continue. 12th website. So this is njazib.com. I actually updated the case study, but I didn't publish it yet. You will be seeing that I will be publishing it in a separate video with all of the holistic SEO implementations, because from technical SEO to the branding to the entity-oriented search to the third-party, let's say surround sound campaigns, barnacle SEO or parasite SEO, however you call it, or heavy semantics, we implemented everything here. And now actually I remember the days that this website was around here. Now it's 500,000. Actual traffic is higher. And how to expand a topical map and how to create a new subfolders for an existing website, it will be really good topic for that. This section that you see, this is the credit subfolder, which is really new, like 4 or 5 months old. And this is for the insurance. And overall, they will be very much better, but there are some dangers for this website. I hope I can handle it. You can also check this website too. I actually have written the article that ranks for the term insurance in Turkey. It ranks at the top. It ranks actually in the first ranking, and I have written it with my hands. You can check the article by translating it. It will be easier for you. And okay, the 13th website, I also explain what I have focused on here, by the way, but if you read the article by yourself, it will be very much better. So the 13th website is actually thecoolest.com. I really love the owner of this website. He is also a really kind person, friendly person. And the website actually focuses on the numeric values inside the titles. If you have numeric values inside your titles and listicles, it will be very much easier for Google to actually understand and rank you. Just remember this. And I have created I expanded the existing topical map by creating another subsection, which is the personal types. So you can tell me that how did you see the semantic similarity and relevance between all these listicles and the personal types is another story. But to be able to see that, you will need to know many other concepts. But once you are able to see them, you will be able to expand the topical map, and both of the sections will start to actually rank very much better. So this is the actually latest update increase in the website, and this is the personal type section. It really increases. And remember the neighborhood content concept. It also has a place inside directly the topical authority case study that I have written before. In the long version, you can actually change it. You can actually see it, and site-wide rankability changes happens thanks to this type of quality new subfolders. And we also created a new SOP, and training videos have been shared with the client, and many questions of the client and also authorship team leaders, they are all answered with practical samples. And then actually all the teammates start to implement these methodologies as well. So this is a long testimonial from the dear Alex. Thank you for that, Alex. I am glad that actually I know you. And if you come to Turkey from Romania, I will be really happy. 14th website. Sorry for going quickly. This is another bartendership website, but they sell the bartender courses. So it is again about the alcoholic drinks, as before I mentioned. But this time we are a course website. As I say, if you create a topical map, your source context matters. You will see the concept of source context a lot. As I say, I found many concepts in the SEO to think in a clear way and communicate. Use the source context or brand identity. We created a recipe subfolder, and we also changed many other sections in the website as well over time by training the teammates, by sharing training videos, and also answering questions, and some weekly trainings also have been done. This is the overall change, and these are just the recipe alcoholic drink section changes as well. And these are the hrefs changes in this section too. I will suggest you to again read this contextual search and multilingual SEO section too, because this is a multilingual website and multi-regional website at the same time, and there are some mistakes there actually the website does, and they will need to handle it. So this is also mainly English. And this one here, this is Turkish and English at the same time, a gift website, but it is a B2B website. And that's why it is about query semantics. And there will be another video that I will be publishing about it, because for this website or for these type of websites, you have to create a relevance between the query context or between the existing query context and your, let's say, business model. So in this case, website is B2B, but the queries are B2C. In this case, you need to change your design and you need to satisfy B2C query context while also providing B2B possibilities. It's a little hard, but you have to do it if you want to be able to rank in a proper way. Entire product taxonomy, entire actual, let's say, entire product taxonomy ontology have been changed from 0, and also URL breakdowns, information tree, website tree have been created according to that. But most importantly, we try to determine especially which type of context should appear where and what kinds of a distance should be put different categories. If you are able to arrange the distance between categories in a proper way, actually you will be determining what kinds of queries will be targeted with what types of web pages. So that's why I am telling that actually understanding the concept of distance is really important. And these are the initial results from Google Search Console. And this is the video embed link. When I publish it, you can see it. 16th website. I'm a little tired. One sec. By the way, after I publish the initial course, probably I will be sharing all the topical maps that I have created. Then you will get me why you can't use a tool or standardization there, even if you think that you can. And then you will also get that if someone like me, or let's say half of me even, if they are competing against you, you will need to use also your own brain and manual work. Eventually, someone like that will come to the SERP, to your SERP, and then you will realize it. So this is Serapool.com, a pool construction company. The industry is B2B, language is Turkish and English, and again the query semantics, again it has been used here. With the lexical relations here, we actually have used the pool construction materials or pool materials, and also different angles like cleaning materials too, because cleaning materials are connected to pool construction materials again. So define the material, group them, then also define the pool construction methods, pool types as well, then the cleaning materials, and some other things like pool design as well. And then actually you'll be able to redirect or consolidate all of the relevance to your source context in a proper way. These are the results from Ahrefs, these are results from the SEMrush, these are results from the Google Search Console. 17th website, jivar.com. So this has actually 0 search, 0 domain rating, and this is the initial results. And this is a tweet that I have actually sent way much before. As you see from actual 10 March, I said it's 0 discipline client discipline, because they even didn't realize that they launched the project. So I had to change everything from earlier. And then actually I'm glad that we work a little in a different way. But basically this is the initial launch, but it could be very much better, to be honest. And the initial launch from here, it went to the 30K. Now it is around in this area. It could be very much better, but you know, you can't protect every website all the time. 18th website with the lexical relations, semantic relevance, and the similarity. So this website is diamondrehabthailand.com, a highly MYL website. It focuses on the rehab, but luxury rehab. I would suggest you to actually read this quality threshold SEO case study to understand it. I didn't include the website in this area, in this section, because I still this website needs a little protection. Once the website is safe, maybe I can share it. Maybe even I can explain you how actually with just 27 articles I was able to take the traffic from Helpline or other websites by increasing the website traffic 10 times more. And there are some video recordings actually while I am revising the articles in this area. Maybe if the owner of the website lets me, I can also share them in the course as well. So these are the initial changes in this website, in this area directly. And these are from Ahrefs, and these are from also Google Search Console. I can tell that sometimes Ahrefs and SEMrush, they don't get the topic because the website is in a distant country, in Thailand. By the way, I really love the Thailand. Anyway, and sometimes query search demands or other things, they change a lot. Anyway, so here I also explain what we have focused on, like solutions, treatments, approaches, or symptoms, reasons for addiction types. And it has been implemented to the other addiction types as well, but there are some things that should be fixed, and for that actually I am using the website inside this case study. That's why I put the link in this area. I started to use it like a kind of quick way of teaching. Fit1001.com. So this is actually a Turkish website, but it is interesting because I am actually using a translated topical map and translating semantic content network that I have created for an English website. And it is successful. I only used actually 5 or 10% of that semantic content network on this area with certain sections. So it is interesting, but I won't go deeper on that area. But imagine that you create a topical map for another language. You just translate it and use it in another language. These are the initial results. In this area, these are the Google Search Console results. It's a brand new domain, by the way. There is no page rank. The domain rating of this website is like 3, 4, 5, something like that. You can check it whenever you want. And here, yeah, this is the 20th website. Yeah, 20th website. And this is an exact match domain. That's why it will be processed in another case study. It is a subsidiary website of the Vava.cars. And it focuses on this query, how much my car is. It has a car evaluation engine. And exact match domains, they are a little tricky. Again, it is about query semantics. I will be explaining in another article. These are the initial results from the August. These are again initial results from, I guess, again the August. You can check the existing situation as well. And I want to read this area. This is an exact match domain project. The distance between the brand name and the query context is important. To own a phrase as a brand, the website has to create brand value. Overall topical relevance, the brand to the brand terms. Yeah, you have to create a topical relevance between you and the brand, let's say, terms or the phrases. Thus, changing the meaning of the query and making Google to interpret its query as a brand name is the purpose of an exact match domain. To improve the lexical relevance of the brand name to the query phrases, the SEO should focus on the abbreviations or synonym phrases of the same query with alternate brand names. This is for the alternate brand name. But at the same time, you can use other lexical relations, meronyms or holonyms or hypernyms or the hyponyms. But this time you can't focus them as brand names, but you can focus them as concepts, as the relevant concepts. Whenever you have these lexical relations, it will always increase the relevance as source or as a web page. 21st website. So this one is complaintsboard.com. So actually, I have started to manage this website around this area. I really like the owner of the website. He's a really smart, disciplined, and one of the strongest men on the earth, I can tell. And since we restarted the project, we came to this area. You can check the graphs whenever actually you want. It comes to this section. And lately, actually, the website started to lose a little traffic, but in this area, actually, I explain source type switch. Even if you do everything perfect, sometimes search engines, they prefer ranking other types of sources instead of your type, the type of websites from your group. And in this case, this graphic doesn't belong to our website. It belongs to the main competitor, and they lost like 2 millions. In this case, actually, we were able to protect the website in a really good way. The actual traffic is way much higher than the SEMrush says, so you should actually listen this area more. If you lose traffic along with your competitors, it means that other types of websites are ranking. For these type of situations, have a brand search demand, have higher page rank, and have, let's say, have less URLs with more value. Focus on the cost of retrieval concept, and this website actually will be processed cost of retrieval case study and the book. So 22nd website, it is Vava.cars. I already mentioned it, and it is interesting because I am working with the Vava.cars since its beginning. It is a really big company, and it is an interesting project. So that's why I put some more details here. I registered this website into the Google Knowledge Graph by writing a Wikipedia page with my own hands. I'm really happy to do that. It was a little hard, but it worth it. The main purpose of this section, actually, I wanted to put Vava.cars under the Petrol Office, which is one of the really big and important websites. It is also important because if you check my SERPstat author profile, you will see this case study here, Unibaby project. I will collect all the case studies that I have written into my website. You will be able to find them in a really easy way. If you check this area, again, there is a Google Knowledge Graph recording. Sorry for the pop-up. And in this recording, actually, I have placed this website, Unibaby, under the Eczacıbaşı, which is another really, really big holding in Turkey. So this is your website. Let's say it belongs to a really big holding. Use the holding to make your brand also more authoritative. If a big holding owns your website or your brand, it means that your brand is also let's say authoritative and trustworthy as well. It's very much easier for a search engine to trust your real world expertise. So use these type of big and authoritative entities to reflect their trustworthiness on your entity as well. To be able to do that, you have to create your own, let's say, entity-oriented connections for your own brand identity. And this is an example that actually how I have done it. Just check these projects a little. You can also understand in this area. And I did the same also for this website too. I actually registered the website into the Google Knowledge Graph. Then the website actually came to the also Google Trends as a company. And this is how actually it has been seen in the SERP. Sorry more the typos. And also the next step for me was actually whenever the most important word inside the Google, whenever it is searched, which means actually value my car. In this case, actually, I wanted to appear in the auto suggestions. It is easier to do this if you are registered inside the Google Knowledge Graph because Google knows what you do. And in this case, next step for me was actually relating my company to this company, which is a really big company. And then it happened too. I appeared together with this one directly in this area too. To be able to do that, actually, there are some other ways like opening a couple of profiles there. But anyway, basically my purpose here is actually registering myself as an authority, relating myself to the most important query, then relating myself to the most important competitor. Once I did it, it means semantically I am more closer there. Focus on this. Okay, so I will continue. Yeah, I also created many local businesses. I registered the website to the Microsoft Bing Places or Yandex Places or Apple Maps, and I always use the same information there. Project started in this area. Right now it is in this section, and this is the SEMrush section. So the 23rd website is a dead colleague. Actually over 2 years we are working together. As I say, if 1001 also belongs to the same website. There is a really heavy technical SEO section for this project, and this is a technical SEO dashboard that I am using for them, and I blurred them, of course, but you can realize my infamous profile picture here. Anyway, from web security to crawl efficiency, we used everything. A topical map created for nutrients, minerals, amino acids, food types, recipes, and more, but usually we focus on the calorie deficits or calorie, let's say, calculations. These are the initial results here. These are another view of the changes as well. 24th website, last website. This is another SaaS company which will have a place inside the SaaS SEO project case study, which really good amount of details. And there are more websites, by the way, I didn't include here. For example, I will be publishing a B2B SEO case study with a company from actually NASDAQ. But I won't be able to give the name because of the NDA, but at least I can give details or some industry names. And of course, no Google Search Console section there, but I will actually give the methodology or the important sections for the B2B SEO or B2B search engine optimization with semantics. And for this website, it focuses on actually the SMS marketing, and I have used many other sections in this area. This is the initial launch, by the way. And these are the initial results from this section too. I won't be giving more details for that area. So I have written the key points of the semantic similarity here. Semantic similarity helps for improving the context sharpening, specifying, and deepening. These are not random words. Context sharpening, specifying, and deepening. If you read this contextual search SEO case study, you will get what I mean. You have to communicate with the search engine by giving your context. Context is everything when it comes to semantic search. Semantic similarity is connected to lexical semantics because similar existing things are closely related with hypernyms or hyponyms or meronymy types of relations. Semantic similarity is different from relevance, but semantically relevant things are usually too similar or exact opposites to each other. Semantic similarity is used to understand the semantic distance between the concepts in topical maps. The title or root of the document is written based on semantic similarity mainly, so that the document can have a proper contextual vector, in other words, end-to-end contextual consistency. Semantically similar entities and concepts are included in the websites or web documents to increase the overall ranking possibility. The new subfolders that are created in the website leverage semantic similarity to use relevance attribution. So relevance attribution, again, it's a concept that I have found, but it is actually coming from mainly Googlers. So basically, if 5 pages from your website are there, if they are relevant to a topic, a 6 web page that you will be creating for that topic, it will get the relevance attribution of the previous 5, even if there is no internal link. So it is about that. There are other things there too, actually, like relevance radius, but I can go in that later. Relevance attribution attributes relevance of a document to a concept to another document for the same topic. Thus, a new query subfolder helps websites to close the gap and have higher semantic closeness between different web folders. If you read how I was able to manage to reverse these negative effect to the positivity, you will get the concept of topical consolidation and broad index refresh. And once you get it, actually, you will understand the importance of closing the contextual gaps inside your website. Once you are able to do that, you will be able to rank always higher. The key points for the semantic relevance. Semantic relevance is different from the similarity, and a relevant thing to another doesn't have to be similar, but has to be in complementary relations. This section is important. Complementary relations between the things. Complementary relations between semantically relevant things are used in lexical relations and semantics. Lexical semantics help improving the semantic relevance for not leaving a gap in the topical map and the subfolders of the website. The semantic relevance is used to measure the distance from a concept to another. Hypernym path or hyponym path types of concepts are used to measure the semantic relevance. Check these things, you will get what I mean in a quick way. Multi-word phrases or stemming lemmatization semantic units inside the words or word groups help search engines to combine different possible contexts inside the queries. And the semantic relevance has different directions inside the same contextual domain. This is important because contextual direction inside the contextual domain, it shows actually your angle, what you are talking about and what you will be talking about next, stated directly inside the summary section of the beginning of the article, so that actually Google can understand why they should rank you or why they shouldn't. Semantic relevance direction should focus on title, the root of the document, so that contextual vector stays consistent. Irrelevant concepts to the contextual domain will decrease the relevance instead of making the document more relevant to the specific context. You can actually find the irrelevant concepts with your brain, or you can use some tools. Use your brain. Use the most relevant concepts even if there is no search demand or volume or quality thresholds are too high to improve the semantic relevance. I already told that I don't care about the keyword search volume or keyword difficulty, and after that everyone started to actually search for zero search volume keywords. Happy to see that change actually. Focus on the relevant concepts even if there is no search demand. Focus on information, not the search demand. The key points for lexical semantics. Lexical semantics and relations are different from the query semantics. Understand this is really important. Well, check my YouTube channel. There is a video about this. You will understand what I mean. Basically, a word might change its meaning from here to here. Lexical semantics focus on word sense disambiguation and word theme with connected other words inside a word net. Check the word net concept from my website. You will get what I mean. Word net involves the word definitions for different contexts and word roles inside different word sequences. A verb might change its context based on the noun or the subject, but the connections are patterned in semantic role labels and frame net. Check the frame net from other sources. I didn't write it yet. Lexical relations help SEOs to improve the overall relevance and contextual coverage. This concept is important. How many contexts you cover, not just the topics. Topics are different from the contexts. The context direction within an article, web page, or any kinds of rankable document for an information retrieval system involves the conceptual graph from an angle to another. Lexical relations and semantics for topical maps help to close the gap while choosing the macro context and main entity for the specific documents. Your macro context actually is the main topic of the article. Main entity should be coming actually from your macro context. Lexical semantics directly affect the internal links, anchor text, internal link order, or distance between the internal links. So welcome to the real semantics, my brothers and sisters. In the Semantic SEO course, you will see these concepts again. Please listen again or read again. This is the free course already, or let's say just the preparation section. I won't be reading these areas. I will suggest you to read these sections by yourself, and these are some of the actual Google designs just for lexical relations and the lexical semantics. If you read it, you will get actually what I mean in a way much better. And with that said, let me just continue to this part a little, because there are some resources that I will be linking at the bottom part. Again, I am repeating for you to actually be subscribed to the newsletter, please. And this is from Bill Slawski, Semantic Relevance of Keywords. The most important part here is actually the concept of the semantic distance. By the way, first time when I read this article, it was even long for me because I was working heavily. So I actually turned the entire article to an MP3 voice record, then I listened it many times, and I read it again. So you read these things like maybe 6 or 7 times to understand it. But most important part here is creating a word graph from certain types of documents and categorizing these documents according to their context and creating or repeating the same word graph for different contexts. Whenever actually you are able to check the edges and the nodes between two different words from different contexts, you actually get different distances. It means that based on the context, the distance between two concepts will be changing, and it will be giving you actually the relevance as well. So it is important, but most important part actually is creating this semantic relation graph between the words. Once you get it, once you get these nodes, let's say 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3. So from here to here, the distance is 3. But for that context, and for different document groups, it will be changing. So understand this concept so that you can actually create better co-occurrences or word proximities or contextual consolidations. And as you see, it says primary content here too. Usually patterns actually use highly similar conceptualizations. I really miss Bill Slawski. I wish we could get him back. Okay, the semantic similarity concept. I will suggest you to read this article before going further, because topological similarity is also important. I guess you know what ontology is. If you don't know, I guess you are on the wrong channel. But read this taxonomy ontology first. They are really basics. And I will suggest you to check this one especially. It is important. Then you can focus on a little bit, let's say, text graph construction. This one here is important because it will be giving you text similarity concept and semantic similarity concept. In fact, I can show you a couple of things here. Semantic similarity. I didn't publish this, but it's pretty simple. I didn't use it that much. I just wanted to check it. But you can actually use transformers from Google to actually check the semantic distance or semantic similarity between these things. There are 4 sentences here. I always change only one word. Then I actually check the similarity between these things. Here it is 57%. The change here is from car to bicycle. It means that this is the similarity between them. Here I change the child to kid, and 99% they are similar. So you can actually get their, let's say, closeness to each other like that. There is one more thing actually here that I can mention. Maybe it is string similarity, or it should be. And here this is the actual another semantic similarity methodology. There are other types of different types of algorithms here. Okay, check all of them, please. Read these different types of algorithms: normalized similarity, Levenstein similarity, Gerard-Winkler similarity. You can get how the search engines actually can understand duplicate content thanks to these string similarity algorithms. And these are the results. I have written these things, and I actually have checked how similar these texts to each other for different algorithms. As you see, sometimes they say they are completely different. Sometimes they say they are exact copy or highly copied. So think like the machines. Sometimes use programs for understanding machines, not for imitating them. Lexical Semantics. I will suggest you to read all these things. I will be publishing some other articles. You try to create these type of word graphs for you. As you see, there are relation types between these things as well. Has a, is a, blah, blah, blah. You will be seeing these things a lot. So this is important because Stanford is where Google actually coming from. And in the query term proximity section, you should get actually how a search engine can understand the terms inside a query and how they can actually get the similarity of these terms to each other or other queries. It is used for actually query clustering. And here, actually, this is the beginning of this small article. It gives actually a simple information retrieval system. I will suggest you to focus on actually these tiered indexes as well, because it should be somewhere here. So tiered indexes for different tiers of indexes, we actually have different types of word lists, phrase lists, or combinations of different types of conceptual graphs, and we try to check which document is more closer to the which tier of the index. And if you check actually some of the Google designs, you will see the same: tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And here we have different phrase hosting lists. If you don't know what a phrase hosting list, check it later, but query scheduling using hierarchical tiers of index servers, it is important, but Google still uses the tiered index because they say that in the Search of the Record podcast, you should check it. And this is designing, parsing, and scoring functions. Try to read these things to understand actually how a query can be closer to another query. If the queries are too close to each other, it means that they will be giving actually highly similar results, and one of the queries will be representative or canonical for others. If you're able to take the rankings for the canonical query, it will be very much easier for taking the rankings for represented ones. I am a little tired, sorry, but I will be finishing all these parts. Proximity search. It is a way of text processing. Try to understand what a word proximity is. Then try to understand what other types of word proximities are. Google still uses the word proximity. That's why try to understand the concept of the attention span and what kinds of co-occurrence matrices you should be created. It is hard to imitate it, so be natural, be informative, but at the same time be a little open or clear in your text so that you can actually arrange these co-occurrences. I already mentioned this. So I will suggest you to check this keyword difficulty or query thresholds case study. You see this graph, it's actually way much better than right now. And these will be published. I am taking videos earlier, and these will be published too. Query Semantics, you see the graphs, you see these websites here. Okay, now this part. Let me drink another drop of water. So this design here actually, again, it is actually about lexical relations and also constraints. At the same time, do not look at just the male part. The important section here is actually grouping different types of entities based on the lexical relations and putting some constraints to them. And to be able to understand what kinds of constraints actually can be used for what kinds of different parts, what kinds of annotations or denotations can be used by the search engines, try to understand it because they will be constructing a lexical semantic structure. This one here is also important too. Let me read this part. Term replacement replaces a word or term, including a phrasal term, in the original query with a similar word or term. Similar terms may include synonyms or near synonyms, which is a new concept from Google, near synonyms, community and neighborhood, acronyms, and terms in the same syntactic or semantic category. This one here is important actually for understanding the entity type or same type of classes. If I can actually find another section here, they try to understand a little the query, let's say, query similarities, but at the same time it is also important for categorizing some certain types of entities or documents too, suggesting and refining user input based on original user input. So basically it is for actually query suggestions, but to be able to refine a query you need to first cluster documents and queries together. So this one is important as well. Identify query pairs. As you see, we focus on queries most rather than documents for now. Analyze your query pair information. Select subset of query pairs with candidate synonyms. Rank candidate synonyms. So search engines usually focus on synonyms to understand, but you should also get that every synonym also has an antonym. Whenever if you are able to classify the synonyms in a really good way, antonyms will be following them as well. So it means actually it signals you how you should be structuring your topical maps, identifying a synonym with n-gram agreement for a query phrase. It's actually an aggregative methodology. If you check these sections, it will be really good for you because these are a little query scoring methodologies with different scoring engines and methods as well. And this high altering ratio, it means that actually if the queries are being altered a lot, it means that some queries will need to be separated. It means that actually semantic distance will be higher for these ones. So you will need to also create a different information tree for these things. So we have a long road. Another type of failures that may occur, this is about word errors. Let me explain. A natural language query are overly complex query failures. For example, a query that is semantically complicated is likely to have a large number of lexical matches and dependency relationships, which can cause failure when they exceed the system's ability to process. So I already published the query processing before, but basically, if a query has really big amount of semantic connections to the other queries or other contexts, search engines will need to create a mixed search engine result page from different contexts. Use these things actually for your advantage. Create bigger and more granular topical maps. It will be helping you. If you read the examples in this area, it will be really helpful for you to actually get what we mean in this section. And probably I will be giving these things to you, but this is the design name here. Handling failures in processing natural language queries through user interactions. And this one here. So partial query. What is a partial query, or how a search engine can complete it for you? Send a query suggestion request for partial query, result for the partial query, add more results, or identify the described term in the partial query. Once you identify the term in the query, you will need to get the lexical relations and the lexical semantics so that you can actually complete the query or suggest new queries as well. So with that said, it is a little about query phrasification, which we will be coming there too. And in this case, creating query suggestions based on processing of the descriptive term in partial query. If you check the lexical relations or semantics in this area, you will be getting actually many different parts of explanations or the examples to understand how search engines can use semantic similarity or the relevance from processing point of view or from constructing for index constructing point of view as well. And this is the definition of the partial query. A partial query is a query formulated by a user prior to an indication by the user that the query is completed query. In some implementation, a user may indicate a completed query by entering a carriage, return, or character. We also process these things actually for auto suggestion generation by stating the anchor segment, but it is another topic. I'm really tired. Let's move on. So this is also this should be the query phrasification, I guess. Let me check. Phrase extraction using subphrase scoring. Yeah, this is important to understand word boundaries and word sense disambiguation, because if certain types of words, that's why you see the actual word stemming directly inside and also spam filtering. You directly see these things because it's about actually understanding syntactic structure of let's say sentences with, let's say, certain types of word sequences or the connections. It is also important for actually removing the fluff from the content, like removing the redundant phrases or matching some certain phrases that you use to the certain types of phrase posting so that they can actually construct the index or tire the index in a proper way. This short term, by the way, it is also used by Martin Shiplet in the Search of the Record podcast. Whenever you see these things, you will getting actually more connections to the Google directly. And if I can come, there are too many diagrams here. If you read these sections a little, you will see how what kinds of subphrases appear actually inside the query terms or inside the documents, because sometimes you can give 2 or 3 different indices for a query result. If some of the query terms include some subphrases, you will need to combine query terms with subphrases inside other terms. It means that your topical map or questions will change according to subphrases inside the main phrase. So when it comes to this one here, okay, let's go top. It is about query scheduling using the hierarchical tire semantic servers. Sorry, we already processed that while I'm explaining these two. And let me explain this, because this is also about actually creating, let's say, lists or groups. If you tell Y such as X, let's say this is a phrase template from the web, it means that actually Y is the class, X is the instance. If a sentence from a document reads, the president decided to provide aid to important cities such as Birmingham, it means that important cities is a set or class, Birmingham is an instance for that. So in this case, actually, you will be creating your topical map, and search engine already actually suggests products based on these type of phrase templates, extracting semantic classes and instances from text. These semantic classes actually come from lexical relations, as I say, hypernym, homonym, or meronymy, or holonym at the same time. And phrase identification scans over each document's body and anchors, maintains a buffer of the last n words of the text encountered. N is preferable between 5 and 20 words. A hit is an event during this iteration over the documents where the phrase identification server adds a candidate phrase instance to phrase map table stored in the phrase data. This section, you will see actually some titles or some document examples for certain types of other query phrasifications. If you read these, you will thank me. Read queries phrasification. For the people who love following the info, I won't be explaining this thing, but you have to read it. I am serious about that. Despite the inventors, they are not that famous inside the Google actually, but this is a really great patent or the design or idea. So let's continue. Also, online advertising, because semantics are highly about the advertising, you should understand that Google doesn't design new technologies not only for actually increasing the quality or quality of the results, they also actually design these things for increasing their advertisement revenue, and semantics help them to increase revenue. So you still see the difference. If we increase an algorithm for links, it means that actually we will be increasing the quality of the results. But if we design or improve an algorithm for the semantics, we will be increasing the quality of the result, but also we will be increasing the revenue from the ads. So that's why that section is more lucrative for search engine. Anyway, and online advertising. In online advertising, frequently targeted so that keywords selected by the advertiser are matched to the topics that may be identified by analyzing the content of the web page on which advertisements are to be displayed. The assumption is that advertisements that are semantically similar to the content associated with the page may be more relevant to the user viewing the page. For example, advertisements for mobile telephones may be matched to the pages in an online newspaper that carries stories about gadgets or other topics that might be of the interest to the people who might also be interested in buying a new mobile phone. Even if you just read these samples from search engine, you can actually use these things for your own topical maps as well. There are some examples of semantic relevance in this section from Arthur Miller to do some other Arthur Millers, let's say. And if you want to check this patent here, unambiguous noun identification. They focus on the unambiguous nouns because they want to realize all the entities inside the document so that they can suggest better ads. If there are 3 different entities directly inside the document, it means that actual links, the ads will be changing their context. If I bring the 4th one, the context will be changing again. Focus on the title, context generation here. If I put 4 entities inside a title, context constraints will be changing. If you check the last article of the Bill Slavsky, you will get it. Creation of inferred queries for use as query suggestions, inferred queries. Again, this requires actually lexical relations, and here we have the query template. Template, I love the word template in semantics, but I won't dive in there because if you get the query template, actually, to be able to get it, you need to read lots of things, but once you get it, it's an amazing tool. And this is the query template. Whenever you see a template, even if there is no search demand, search engine will be constructing a new SERP. Sometimes you might even tell you that why the results are changing even if the query is not that important. Usually it is a template and they don't pay attention to the individual instances or exceptions. And this is the inferred one. It is similar to the query phrasification. It comes from actual lexical semantics. I won't go that deep here. Just check this. User input classification. We have used the concept of user input before. Try to unite these actually with these ones. And here actually the user input that you see, it always actually follow certain types of semantics. Whenever we put something here, all the possible semantic relations actually create new suggestions, and the same type of relevance calculations happen inside your document too. So that's why I try to understand that actually whenever you put a fluff to your document, you are actually increasing distance from yourself to the query or the query context. In this case here, from these things, from government to the negative to the Chinese to the like to the home, there is always some certain types of actually combinations, and ambiguity or solving the ambiguity is the first task of a contextual search engine, because without solving the ambiguity, you can't get the context. Query optimization. Again, we continue with the queries. Again, to be able to optimize a query for better rankings, you actually have to focus on the semantics or a proper, let's say, a proper query phrasification. Movies with we know a rider, and in this case actually you will need to create different types of combinations of these things. I mentioned it before in the subphrase section. Once you get the right combination, you will be able to actually phrasificate these things properly. These ones and zeros, they represent the embeddings. Then you will get actually different types of, let's say, data graphs. I will suggest you to read these. Once you read these things, actually you will get all these case studies better in a better way. So we receive a query, identify the search results for the query, determine candidate synonyms similar for a phrase of the query from the predetermined list. Predetermined list, remember that. Derive altered query. Remember altered query, we already see this concept too. Using candidate synonyms, we have seen this concept before too. Identify search results for altered query. So it's like all the patterns actually talk about the same things, but this wasn't important. Tristan Apstell, I am fond of him. And here we have this Stephen the Baker, even if he works for the Apple for now. But these two are important just for the inventors. Read this, identifying common co-occurring elements in lists. Actually, Bill Slawski has an article for this. Read the Bill Slawski, you will get what I mean better. But by using some certain phrases inside your HTML lists, you can actually increase the relevance, and semantics are directly relevant there. Again, we have Tristan Apstell actually and Stephen Baker here, identifying related terms in different languages. So if you read my multilingual SEO case study there and the guide, you will get actually what they mean. But semantics are language agnostic thanks to these type of designs. If you're able to get actually semantically relevant terms from different languages, then if you're able to unite them together by removing the language barrier, you will get a bigger data. It will be helping you actually for understanding the user behaviors between different languages in a very much better way as well. So basically here determines, again, same thing, see? Nearly same actually, let's say. Actually, this is like a kind of, let's say, continuation section. And let me just check. Sorry, it is actually the same one. But it should be, let me just check the date. Maybe I should open. No, yes, it is a different one, yeah. One of them is continuation, now I remember. Sorry, because of, since I've talked for the 76 minutes, it happens. So the continuation section is important, but also you see that the continuation section actually changes the specific context there. That's why, because of the highly close diagrams, I just wanted to change the file name and the date as well. So again, we have some important inventors here. Actually, especially I will suggest you to actually check the Mr. Herman and semantic frame identification with distributed word representations. So word representation or different types of, let's say, if you read the semantic row labels, you will get what we mean here. Both sold, or buy, sell, buy, sell. They are antonyms, but they are coming from the actual same distribution area. Then you will be able to actually classify these themes in a better way. We can tell you will be able to actually get the concepts in a better way. Linguistic semantics focus on the history of how words have been used in the past. Frame semantics is a theory of the language meaning that relates linguistic utterances to word knowledge, such as event types and their participants. So event types here, if you check the concept of FrameNet, you will get what this section actually means better. Unfortunately, because of the time deficiency, I can't go on deeper for every design here. Maybe in the future we can do. Integration of semantic context information. So this one here, again, it is about lexical semantics. Even from these sections you can get them basically. But I will suggest you to actually read these things as much as possible from the point of view of document query matching, especially this one. Once you are able to use that, you will actually get what kinds of models can be used there. I wouldn't suggest you to check this latent semantic analysis that much. I don't care about LSA that much, but latent, sorry for this. Actually, I have the Cloud Premium, but this thing continues to come. Anyway, these section latent direct allocation. This is very much more important than LSA because it is basically used for topic modeling. I will suggest you to check that as well. So these sibling relationships, by the way, from this design, it is important because sibling relations, basically they are actually meronyms and a little bit the holonyms as well. And in this case, if you create a lexical graph, actually it will be a kind of, let's say, a little bit horizontal section, side by side, things from the same category, and it is actually required for ontology construction. When it comes to ontology construction, it is highly relevant to the actual product graph as well. And I will suggest you to read this section. As I say, to create a lexical graph, you need lexical semantics. So this is the last one. Okay, if you can go to the top, query revision using the non-highly ranked queries. So query ranking or highly ranked queries, but imagine that search engine always actually scores the queries, and they try to rank the queries according to their quality. The query quality comes actually from your choices. Your choice is equal to user input in this case, and you can, if you unite all these patterns or the designs, you will get how the lexical semantics actually is being used by the search engine for constructing indexes, for clustering queries, for actually matching documents to queries. What are the obstacles that they have? What are the advantages that they have? Then you will be able to use all these things actually for creating better topical maps or semantic content networks at the same time. The concepts here, they are important because the NQ, as I can remember, it was like neighborhood N queries actually. It means, or let me just check. Yeah, actually here, but neighbor, sorry. It should be something. Yeah, there are definitions here. Behavioral similarity is BS. There are other types of definitions, but maybe I couldn't find them right now. We can check them a little later. It should be somewhere here, but I couldn't find it. Since I talked for so long time, I couldn't find it. Maybe here, for instance, one of them, query occurrence frequency. It is the QF. Then, of course, we also have, let's say, the quality of the frequency as well, or some other sections. And there are some query examples here and how they should be scored or how they should be ranked. If you read this implementation with these examples, it will be better for you. And then you can get actually what these type of graphs mean. But they are not that much actually hard concepts, I can tell. Okay. So I finished actually all of these designs, all of these things. I can tell that this is, I guess, the longest video that I have ever recorded. So I will suggest you to read this document when I publish it. As I say, some of these websites, they will be coming later on in different case studies. And I guess this is the first in the search engine optimization history with this amount of level detail at least. Sorry for being tired towards the end of the video. I hope you will be able to benefit from this information, and I hope you can use these things especially for understanding the incoming Semantic SEO course. Thank you for listening.